Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Harmonic TV. So today I'm going to review two pieces from composer Leon Rilovich, if I'm saying the name correct. And I don't know how to read the title of the piece. And he specifically told me that he's young, so and he was like, yeah, don't judge me or don't completely destroy me, which was really funny reading that in an email. But just for you to know, and for everybody else, I would never do that. And I really respect that you set me a score, because I also learned from you guys. It's really a two-way relationship. But anyway, let's go. All right. Well, I made the face because my speaker is a bit broken, so it just popped out. But beautiful. I really like your piece, and I don't think there's anything to be shy about, or just if you think you're young, and I think it's amazing that you are composing. All right, so I do have some ideas for you that you can maybe think about. First, I'm going to tell you about some engraving and notation as usual, then I will go to composition tips. So first of all, whenever you send your score, always make sure that even the the mini stuff, even the small, like small stuff like this, if you send it, for example, to a pianist, they will judge you for this. They will think, even if you're your best composer, they'll be like, oh, okay, their engraving is not really the best, so they will automatically judge you a bit. So always make sure that everything looks great. Or for example, here you see the stuff here, the pedal, and let me see. Oh yeah, and the other thing is that if you see, I really love here that you put mezzo forte and forte here, which is super nice. But make sure that you are consistent with it. So for example, this part really makes sense here, okay? And but here you don't really need to put a piano here. And if both of them are doing the same thing at the same time, you can just omit this one. It means that both of them are just gonna flow. But if you mean that, for example, this piano, maybe at this point will be mezzo piano or something, then put a mezzo piano here, and then start going from here and onwards, okay? Same as here. So you have a mezzo forte, mezzo piano, to piano, you see, you did, okay, mezzo forte, mezzo piano, piano, which is correct, but you said, hey, I want this to be really gradual here to piano, and I would also put the piano here, and it goes down. And so be consistent with your dynamics and stuff. For example, here you don't need it because it's the same, okay? Like really think about logic here. What does does it make sense to put it like this, or it doesn't make sense, okay? The other one is that, oh yeah, I saw this also. So it would be nice to pull this. That would be up here, you know, the slur here. And these kind of, the ornaments, you know, the mordants, I think this is a mordant, I think. They're not really used now in contemporary music, and I do consider yourself contemporary music because you're composing now. So just write whatever you want. Okay, so if this is like a mi fa mi re mi or something, just write mi fa mi re mi here in a small thing. Or if you want it to be performed before, you can write it with a grace note. Okay, so for example, you write it like this, and then well, that doesn't really. Okay, that's a bit goofy, but like a grace note, you know. Or just right in front of it with a very small notes. For example, it can be 16ths or something. I think 16 in this tempo would be nice. Okay. So I did something. I see something very sneaky you did here, which I really like it. I don't know if you guys noticed, but he inverted this melody here. You see, it's like an inverted version of this somehow. And here he also used the major chord here, although you see this here, the C sharp here is the A major, and then here you have A minor texture, and then you have the C sharp, which I really like it. But for me, this change was a bit too harsh. Just, this is my taste, okay? Because now we're talking about composition-y stuff. I would have loved if you had a bit of a transition, okay? A bit of a transition from this A minor chord to this one, you know? Maybe you can actually play, because you already have this C sharp, you know? Maybe actually you could have played the C and then the C sharp, you know? And then it goes forward, goes back, and then goes to the C sharp, you know? So I want you to try, I mean, maybe not exactly what I say, but I want you to try to learn how to make transitions, okay? So not to make your pieces into sections, which is fun and interesting sometimes, but sometimes it's not, okay? And here I would suggest it would be nice to have a transition, for example, to this section. Or even if you don't want to put a transition, it should be something that would make sense as an ending here, and then beginning of a new phrase here. I mean, like, listen to Beethoven sonatas and stuff. It's like you always hear like this, even if he has like this introductions, or like his like mostly the sonatas, the introductions, or the form in the sonata, you always have a tiny bit of a build-up, then something else come out of it. So your ear really expects something because of the stuff that happened before, which partially you have it because of this this cadence here, which tells the ear that, hey, this is gonna end here, and naturally, of course, the music is just starting. This comes here, but not because we made it in that way, you know, not because you made it. So I want you to try to make it in a way that this would lead to something else as a practice, okay? So this would, maybe you can add even one or two more bars or something, you know, because you don't really have to make a four bar texture, okay? So come out of the 4-bar thing completely, because as you can see, you have 4-bar here into this 4-bar, and also 4 bars here, 4 bars here. So be aware of this. And the other thing that I want you to try is that I really like this. This whole texture is beautiful. And I want you to try, maybe for here, these chords, or maybe down here. You see? To don't see chords as chords. See them also as a bit of a accompaniment. You know, I mean, there are of course accompaniment, but this is the most basic function of an accompaniment, which is the chords, which is just like brum. Okay. Now imagine if there's like d da d d d. If this is going here, and then for example there would be a E here, and then it goes to an F, and then another note. So you have also a bit of a moving left hand. So it's like also coming with it, and it doesn't have to be extravagant or something crazy, you know, because the vibe of your music is quite chill. So try to have maybe a tiny bit of a motive in your maybe even in the second part. So this goes here, and in the second part you can put a note here, one note here, you know, as an extra additive to the beauty of your score. And other than that, I think it's a great piece. Just keep working on it, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna make a lot of more cool stuff. But now let's go to the next score of Leon. Oh, by the way, guys, first off, don't forget to like, comment, and also subscribe. And also, if you need lessons, I can also give online or in-person lessons if you live in the Netherlands. And yeah, so just hit me up if you need me. I will leave my email in the comment sections. Let's go. All right, it's called Ples. I think the PDF is called Ples, but I don't know if you read this Ples or Plesh. But yeah, so sorry that I cannot read it, but let's go. All right, cool. I also like this one. Quite different than the other one. Maybe you can make it like a mini suite of pieces for piano. That would be really cool. Like maybe five of these mini pieces. But yeah, so let's go. Again, let's start with some engraving things, which most of it is very similar to what I already told you, and you already know. Like this is already great. And I would, for example, I wanted to say maybe a sempre would be needed here, because you want all this to be within the same dynamic, or yeah, maybe would be nice to add a sempre just to make sure that they don't, because sempre means always, you know, to keep it, to keep consistent with whatever it is. So if you write a sempre here, they will be sure, your musicians, that they would keep this forte until all the way to the end, until here, that they would come down. Otherwise, they might do this a double forte, which I think here it also makes sense to do this double, like a double forte here, but it depends on what you want, okay? The other thing is that always write a expression and a tempo marking here, so whatever you want it to be. So this is not enough, the number. I highly suggest to put a text here, which is always nice. I find this one, the piece, the melody, very beautiful. The melody that you have here, okay? But I see that you use the accompaniment here, like this, well, not the accompaniment, it's more like the counterpoint to the melody that you have here. This is like the C, F, G, A. So you have C, F, G, A. here your audience will lose the attention, okay, as for example I also did, because you don't know what to follow. And here you really thought as an engineer, as a composer, and you were like, okay, I'm going to use this left hand as a continuation, as to keep consistency in your piece, okay, and then as a variation I will put this up there, okay. But truth is, this is not enough. This is this is not enough for the audience to remember that they already heard this once, even though you repeat this, because this is not going to be heard as a melody. This is just a bass line, and it's really nice, but they're not going to hear it as something special that they can recognize this. Otherwise, not otherwise. At this point here, they will hear this section. I mean, we haven't gone to the section after. They will hear this section as just an extra. They will not understand where is this coming from, because it's completely new. So you had something here, and then as a continuation it goes here, and you have your melody here, which is 2 times repeated. Then you have something new here, okay, and you have something new again right after. So this is going to confuse your listeners, so it's a bit fragmented, okay. So my suggestion is that try to keep consistent. Pick one of your motifs, okay, whatever you have. For example, this one is also nice, which I see you used it here, but still this sounds new because this is the only place that you used it, and the audience are not going to remember that you already had this bida boodia ba di di di, this kind of arpeggio thingy, which you already have here as well. So I would suggest that you change some of your parts into similar texture that you had before, but change the harmony, change the dynamic, do a variation of your melody. You know, for example, you also have this like the faster stuff, or this motive, or the ending of this, like like a development, okay? So don't jump to a new thing. I know it's exciting, it's fun, but you have to put yourself in the shoe of your audience, and if you don't, they will be confused. Yeah, and that was it. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and also for you guys, if you want me to review your piece, send it to submissions@homayontv.com. And till next time, Homayoun out.